Hi, I'm Roger. Welcome to the Woodshop Stop. Today I'd like to show you how I built this counter chair. This is a little bit taller than a standard chair and a little bit shorter than a bar stool, but the perfect idea for counter height. And I'd like to show you how I built this if you'll stick around and watch the video. Thanks for checking it out. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. I picked up these boards from the lumber yard. They're white oak. And here I am squaring up the ends to make sure that the ends are square before I start laying out the joinery for the chair. Now here you see me laying out the joinery for the chair. I'll be using lap joints for the entire chair. And I wasn't sure if I was going to use lap joints at first. I decided that that's what I was going to go with. But before I was thinking about bridle joints. I think that would be a neat method for joining a chair together is with bridle joints. A little more complex, probably a little more time consuming since you have to cut the double-sided joints. And but this lap joint will be substantial for this build, and you can see it's coming along fairly decent. I used a pencil to lay these out, but maybe next time I might use a marking gauge or a marking knife. I think that might be better, but this worked out for now. Here you can see I've got the front and back of the chair laid out. Now to lay out the stretchers for the chair, I decided I would try to do these all in one big bunch to make it go a little bit faster. And it seemed to work out pretty good. Just a matter of keeping everything still while you're trying to strike that line. I thought it would be advantageous to put a board at the bottom of the bench there to rest them up against. And I think that works out nice. As you can see, I can just push them up against that and line them all up simultaneously, and then I can strike my line and not have to worry about too much movement. I wasn't sure what I was going to use at first for this chair. I got plenty of scrap pieces. I've got plywood, and I've got pieces of oak and some other woods that I have. But I decided I'd go to the lumber yard and pick up some fresh wood. These are actually offcuts. The lumber yard that I go to is a Finnish lumber yard, and they deal in finished goods for doing finished projects like trim work and all that kind of stuff, doors and all the things that you need to finish trim out a house. But you usually have pretty good offcuts, and the price is a lot less than what you would pay for normal boards. So I like going there. Saves me a little bit of money. All the wood that I bought for this chair came to about $23, and so I don't have a whole lot invested into this. But as you can see, I got all my laps cut. The only thing I do differently on these lap joints, I might use a stop and use a dado blade to cut these laps, so I'd get a little cleaner cut. You know, and have to do the clean out, the finish, and but the table saw works okay with a single blade. The other option that I might consider next time is using a straight cut router bit on the router table and see if that does a lot better. I understand that that will leave a nice clean finish, and if you've got a stop set and your miter gauge, you can get a repeatable depth on the cheek of the joint, and will give you a much better joint. My joints came out fairly decent, but they could be a little bit better. Here you see me using my tapering jig. It's normally used for uh, tapering legs for tables, and I decided this would be a good jig to use for putting a taper on the back rest of the chair so that it's not so straight up and down. So it might be just a little bit more comfortable to sit in. And you saw me set up the lines on the end of the board and on the face of the board to get the positioning right for the blade to come through and cut the angle off. And this is a real simple procedure. As you see, it just follows the jig, and your waste is removed. Now I'm starting the glue up process, and these joints are going together pretty good. You'll see me use the brad nailer here. Once I glue the joint together, I put a couple brad nails in each joint just to hold it in place, so I can do the completion of the assembly. And this works out great for me. I'll just have to follow up with a little bit of wood putty or filler in the brad nail holes to kind of disguise where I put the brad nails. But this works best for assembly. Now that I have the two sides assembled, it's time to put the stretchers on. I'll put a front stretcher on and a back stretcher. Actually, I'll have two back stretchers by the completion of the build, but you see one back stretcher here. I figured I needed another one at the lower portion of the back of the chair just to keep the legs aligned. Sorry about this camera angle here. I'm working on getting better with my camera angles. I had this whole thing centered until I raised the chairs up on the back. But here you see the completed assembly, and I have it all clamped up and ready to dry. Now I'm starting on the seat portion of the chair. This is actually some lumber that I had in my shop. I had to rip it all up and mill it to size, and I glued it all up, and here I'm sanding it a bit after the glue up, and now I'll size the backrest and the seat here on the crosscut sled. This is another piece that I had in the shop. Just some of my own cut-offs. I believe this chair is going to be a little bit larger than your standard chairs, uh, but I think that's a good thing because it'll accommodate today's Americans' sizes. Seems like everybody's getting bigger now these days. I decided I wanted a little design in the backrest, so I drew out a little configuration and decided I was going to cut it out on the scroll saw. I like using the scroll saw. It's kind of a fun tool to use. It's a little tricky though. Here you can see the design that I came up with a little bit better. And it's nothing real fancy. I call it my angel wing design because it reminds me of angel wings or eagle wings. Here we're sanding the chair down. It's all dried, and I actually had to put some filler in some of the joints and clean up some bad spots and that type of thing. Now we're drilling the holes to secure the backrest and the seat to the chair. And I'm using furniture screws. They're actually like a furniture pocket screw, but they're basically just a furniture screw. And I did a recessed hole so I can plug these after I've screwed the seat and backrest to the chair. And I decided to go with some walnut plugs to plug in these holes. And that will give it a little bit of decoration, or a little bit of flair, as one might say. I actually used a larger size drill than what the screw is in order to allow for a little bit of movement. I'd like to thank all my subscribers that have been subscribing to the channel, and the loyal viewers that have been sticking with me throughout this 2 to 3 year journey that I've been on in woodworking and posting videos. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, and hit the like button and share the video. Also hit the bell notification for future videos. Here are those walnut plugs I decided to go with. I bought one of those plug cutters and I used it on my drill press, and it's a pretty crappy plug cutter or something because it really caused a lot of smoke. Imagine it's got a really dull edge on it, so I may see if I can sharpen that, make a better edge on that cutting edge, or maybe I'll just end up buying a new one. But the plugs turned out really nice, as you can see here. I used my Japanese pull saw to trim them down, and then now I'm sanding the plugs smooth to the surface of the seat. And they came out real nice. I'm real happy with the way they came out. But here's the chair. It's all finished. I'm quite pleased with the end result. This is my first chair. Thanks for watching.